Hi everyone, and welcome to Insights by Johnita Francis. I thought I'd try something different today. Instant regret. So I decided that it's such a beautiful day outside. We have experienced some absolutely chaotic times here, and I'm sure it's felt all over the world as well, with panic buying and a lot of fear, and people are just not their usual selves. And I thought, you know what, I'm not going to be my usual self today. I'm just going to step outside and breathe in the sunshine and just enjoy life and try to socially distance myself from the chaos that's all around us at the moment. And right before I went live, one of my German Shepherds, our beloved babies, we have two, he decided that he was going to let the neighborhood know that we were all outside. So I'm frantically trying to get him to shush, and I'm frantically trying to get him to not bump the camera, and what a chaos, hey? They try to warn you not to work with kids and animals, and I think when your animals are your kids, it's an absolute recipe for stress and disaster. But we've overcome it now. They seem to be settling down and enjoying the day as well. So, all right, guys. This week on my Insights by Johnita Francis, I will be putting up a collective reading for everybody, and that will take in the effects of the frequencies that are going on at the moment, and also everything that's happening in the world. It'll just cover a lot of things, because I think, have you ever looked at an ant farm when we were little, okay, and the ants are all minding their own business. They're busy and they're doing their thing. But as soon as you put something different inside that area that they're in, it changes everything. The ants go ballistic. They all run for the food if you put food there. If you put a water drop in there, they all scatter. Put a little drop of honey in there, and they try to work out what's going on, and then all flock to the honey. And it's kind of what humans are doing at the moment. So my collective reading will be a lot around just relaxing, trying to not get caught up in the atmosphere. A lot of empaths in particular, and they're, 80% of our listeners are big empaths. So, and they're getting caught up a lot of that, and the fear sort of breeds fear. And the more we buy into the fear, the more fearful we become. And it's kind of like we get on this big roller coaster and we're not really sure how to get off. So my collective reading, do check it out. It'll be Insights by Johnita Francis on Facebook. You can also catch me on YouTube as well by the same name. I like to keep everything simple so I can remember mostly for myself. So Johnita is spelt John, like a boy's name, John, and then Ita. So that'll get me there. I'm the one and only, so it's easy to find me. Now, I've got some viewer questions that came in over the last week. I'm really loving this segment because it's an opportunity to, really, do quick and fast, and, almost flash readings on people that are asking single questions. What's going to happen here, and give me some insight around that. And it's really it's fun to do. So if you haven't already sent me in a question, and there's been heaps, if you haven't already sent me in a question, please do that, okay? Yeah, it's a really cool, novel way of changing things up on my slot on A1R Psychic Radio. All right, we've got a viewer, Michaela, and she's lost her USB, and she said she did own up to I'm prone to losing things. Now, Michaela, absolutely. The reason why you do that, and I want to tackle the reason why you do it first, is because when you get frantic and you get they're saying anxious, okay, but it's not anxiety. It's more what you're doing next. You're thinking about what's going to happen next and how that next thing is going to come into play for you. And when you do that, you're not actually present in the moment. And that's when you put stuff away. And when you put stuff away and you're not present in the moment, that's where we lose them, because we can't really remember where we put them, because we've got so many things going on in our minds at that time. We're thinking about different things. We're thinking about what's coming next. And, of course, we're not thinking about where we put that bloody USB. So for you, Michaela, the best course of action that I can think is for you to keep a voice recording in your phone till you get the hang of calming down. The reason why that is, it's not exactly cheating. It kind of is, but not exactly. It's I'm putting my USB in the side of my handbag, for example, okay? You can listen to that voice recording back, but it also brings you back in this moment. You're actually training your brain. So yes, it sounds like a shortcut. It sounds like cheating, kind of is, but you're also saying, okay, I need to stop and put a voice recording in for this. So you're already stopping yourself. You're stopping yourself from thinking about the next thing, because right now you need to put this voice recording in so you don't lose it. And then when you do that, you can refer back to it later. So it doesn't matter if you get a bit scattered or your day goes nuts or your weekend just disappears out of nowhere. You've actually got that voice recording. So it's a two-pronged approach to slowing down and really taking awareness of where you are right now in this moment. I had to do this myself because I've got so many things going on that if I don't write them down, I will forget about them. Probably the most embarrassing thing was a platforming night that I needed to do. And I remembered it about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I think I needed to get on the road by about 4 o'clock. Not the coolest moment in my life, and I owned up to it when I got there because I was a little bit frantic. Got there in plenty of time. But the thing is, the more you have a giggle with it, the more you say that, oops, I've overlooked this. And don't beat yourself up about it, because negative conditioning is something that we hang on to a lot quicker than positive conditioning, especially if you're not used to positive conditioning. As far as your lost USB is concerned, I kind of touched on the handbag before. I really feel like it's gone down in, when we get backpacks and we get that little back slip thing that, inside the backpack itself, and there's another little, not secret compartment, but another flat little area. Kind of feel like it's gone down into something like that for you. You've put it in there, you thought it got in the main part, but it's actually gone in this other little part instead. So have a good look through the backpack. There's navy blue that keeps coming up, okay? So if you've got a handbag or a bag that you take with you, or an additional bag or something that is navy blue or bordering on that dark blue color, that's where you're looking for your USB, okay? I'm not sure if you will find it, because you tend to look for things in much the same manner that you lose them. But you need to slow down, my love, okay? When you slow down, then things will start to come together for you a little bit more. All right. We've got Ashley is next. Now, Ashley is talking about relationships. Now, over the years, I tend to shy away from relationship readings, and it's only been recently that I've actually started doing them and offering them as a relationship reading, purely because relationships are designed to teach us lessons and to get us to understand what it is that we need to learn about ourselves and what's going on with ourselves, so we can progress, and on a spiritual level, on a relationship level, and all those sorts of things. So so what this means is, for you in particular, there's lessons to be learned here, and the lessons for you actually are around self-worth and how much of yourself that you put in relationships when they actually come your way. And you're somebody that really enjoys being in relationships. You give yourself 100% over to your partner, and they're all admirable traits. However, if you've got a partner that is not 100% putting him or herself into the relationship as well, or they're not present, and they're not, it's not a fair and equitable transaction between yourselves, then that tends to be where resentment builds up or insecurities build and those sorts of things. So what I would say to you in particular, Ashley, is that if someone is not giving you what you're worth in your time and not giving you the value that you are, then that person's probably not worth your time at all. So you want to know about reigniting flames. I think, and this goes for everyone, not just Ashley, I think in relationships, then must come a time when we love ourselves unconditionally. And I really feel that that's what an unconditional love is being able to be okay with putting our boundaries in place, being able to say, I love you, you're a lovely person, but this is not working for me. I need these sorts of things in a relationship. And I think that that's where you are in this particular relationship as well. And that is that, you just want to, he's a nice person. You want to be able to reignite that flame. You want to be able to keep this person close to you. as I think in relationships, when a man pursues you, you know that a man is pursuing you and he's serious. If a man pulls back and he's not pursuing you, he's not really interested. And men don't really know how to have those conversations around it's time to break up. So generally fights come out, disagreements, it gets messy, it gets horrible, and that's how relationships end. So I'm not having a crack at men, but we all know that, we're the talkers. The females are on a grand scale of the way, we're the talkers. We articulate what's going on. We talk about our feelings. We talk about what's going on in our minds. And the boys, we might pour our hearts out to our partners and they go, yeah, okay. And you think, are you serious? I'm just giving you 20 minutes of my life telling you all my issues. And you go, yeah, okay. So for that boys, it doesn't mean, that's just the way they are. So they're not going to sit there necessarily and have those big articulate conversations around how they feel and why the relationship's not working for them. So they tend to go into two modes most of the time. And one is pull away completely and ignore you. And sooner or later you'll get the idea, and just leave them alone. Or you talk to your friends and your friends will say it's not worth it, just leave him alone. Or the other mode is that that arguments start and the discomfort starts, and neither way is the right way, neither way is the wrong way. We just have to respect the idea that the sexes and the genders are very, very different. So I think in your case, reigniting the flame is not long-term beneficial to you, okay? You're not an option. You're a really beautiful, perfect, whole person within your own right. You shouldn't really have to rely on someone else to give you your worth, if that makes sense, okay? So I think for you in this relationship, if he wants to be friends and boundaries can be accepted and respected around that relationship, that friendship, so that means that you're both comfortable with what's going on, you're not being led on, there's no beneficial arrangement that doesn't suit both of you transparently and honestly, then I think let sleeping dogs lie and certainly allow the next person to come into your life. There's a man coming that's kind of in your energy space at the moment. He's got a sandy, mousy, sort of blonde colour hair, like a light brown, mousy sort of colour, like a field mouse. Of course, sorry to call him a field mouse. But he's a lot different, okay? This guy's a little bit different than what you've dated in the past. So hard to move forward and heal properly if you're still hanging on to the past. So I would highly recommend that you just have a little think about where you want to be in your relationships and what you're actually truly needing from a relationship, and then go after that and don't settle for anything else. Certainly don't settle for someone that can't give you the time of the day, because you're very much worth it. Okay, and we've got a lady, I will assume is a lady, initials of US, so Umbrella Sierra. And yep, okay, we've got a lady. She wants to know about her son's future partner, and is she a good fit for the family? Okay, this is interesting because I'm not actually picking up a partnership yet in this relationship. Okay, so I'm assuming that this person hasn't come into his life as yet, or if it has, it hasn't concreted as a relationship. The interesting thing about this is there seems to be a culture, a mindset or a culture thing that's kind of worrying about and providing this worry about what's going to go on in this relationship, and if it's going to be a good fit, if there's going to be an understanding. Is she just going to fit, or is she going to buck the system? The last thing we want is a bucking of the system, do we? Look, I think, and probably this is a shout out for all parents too, is there comes a point where we need to step back and allow our kids to learn and to grow. And sometimes some of us learn by mistakes. If you can't see me because you're on the radio, I'm pointing at myself. We learn by those hard lessons and those challenges. And, and it's okay. That's our path. That's not wrong. And I know that, I'm a parent as well. And I know that we want to protect our kids and make sure that they have great choices. But we also have to have a little bit of faith in our ability to parent them and put the right moral values and the right ethics. And if there's religion or culture involved, then, and all those sorts of things as well. So there comes a time where we just need to step back and allow them to do what they need to do. And, there's no doubt that there will be, you're going to throw a new family dynamic into any family. So, when you're marrying your culture and religion and history and family generations, and you're bringing all of that, like it or not, kind of into your new family, worked on both sides. So the interesting thing here is about acceptance and understanding that not everyone's going to be the same and not everyone's going to have the same views on things. And I think with respect to your son, US, is, I think he'll choose well. He will. He's got a really kind, gentle heart. He gets a bit fired up about a few things every now and then. But, overall, you've done a fantastic job on him. So I think, from a family point of view, when we bring all those relationships back and we try to work out, we really do want the best for our kids in a nutshell. And I get that, totally understand that. But we learn from experience as well. So I think for US, your son's future partner is just going to be a gem, okay? She will be a gem because you've raised a gem. She's a good fit for the family, absolutely. Are you going to butt heads? Absolutely. You're already trying to get her to fit into a mold or to make sure that she fits into your family. But how are you going to fit into hers? And if your son marries anyone even remotely with those similar personality traits that you have, then you're going to butt heads. It's as simple as that. So, you know what? You've got to you've got to take all the goodness and the happiness, and the way this lady is going to make your son feel will just be magical. So you can't really ask for much more than that, can you? So, yeah. All right. And we got one final little question which came in quite late. And it was around the coronavirus in particular. And I want to do a collective reading, as I explained, about coronavirus and the fear, more so the fear and where people are at with their mindset. And the question was relating to, like, if this is bad, is it as bad as everyone makes it out to be? And I thought, you know what? It's a very quick spreading flu, okay? It's this very quick spreading cold. Influenza in Australia actually kills more people than anything else, really, as far as a cold and flu is concerned. The statistics are just ridiculous here for that. It's always our elderly, it's always the young people, it's always the immune vulnerable people that really suffer during our flu and cold season. So every other year we don't panic buy. Every other year we treat our mates well. Every other year we stir up the boys and tell them they've got man flu. And every other year, all of us women just keep going until we're almost collapsed from the flu. And I think that we kind of need to have a similar sort of mindset now. If you're unwell, take time off work if you can, or try to minimize how much exposure you have to other people. If you know someone that's unwell, or you know that you're feeling a little bit under weather, stay away from as many other people as you can. The level of mateship should be alive now more than ever before, because we actually need our mates to help us keep our sane heads about us and to keep us laughing and giggling and enjoying life, even, it looks a bit bleak at the moment. So, my response to this person that was asking about the coronavirus, look, I personally think that it's the right precaution. We keep very stable within ourselves. We understand what's going on for ourselves. We look after our families. We make sure our neighbours are safe. We make sure our friends are safe and our extended family is safe. We remind people if they're starting to feel a little bit under the weather to just maybe not go and do that function, or, drop the kids off at school or whatever they're doing. Just be mindful that our health is first and foremost. And I think as a globe, not just as a country, we will get through this. So the panic buying is just insane. I've seen so much violence, with the panic buying. It's just not necessary. Someone's going to get seriously hurt. And, we don't really need all that extra stuff. Everything will be all right. It's not the end of the world. And if it was going to be the end of the world, we wouldn't need all those groceries anyway. So as someone who deals a lot with the spirit world and channeling, as if we take a different approach to what is happening around us at the moment, and we stop and we smell the roses and we go outside and we just enjoy the things that are going on around us and keep a level head, exercise some common sense, I think that we will all be fine, absolutely fine. You guys in the Northern Hemisphere are coming out of your cold and flu season now, your runny nose season. Warmer weather will help that. With the warmer weather, obviously, all viruses tend to disappear in the warmer weather. They don't like the heat. So, get out there as much as you can, enjoy the sunlight, get some vitamin D into you. And us down here in the southern, especially in Australia, I mean, we have a winter, yep. Most of the time it's bloody stinking hot though. So get out and go in your backyard, hang out with your kids, play cricket, do all those sorts of things, get away from social media, enjoy our planet, enjoy, it wasn't that long ago that we were fighting bushfires, not that long ago that we had the floods. So, and nature will rejuvenate itself. And now nature's showing, all these tragedies can happen and I can still grow and I can still change. And if nature can do it, surely we can do it. So, maybe just keep calm. Everything will be all right. Absolutely. All right. And I think that's just about the end of my show for today. It's been a blast as always. So if you needed to reach out for a private reading, more than happy to do that. I have updated my website. Always some exciting news for you as well is that with my website, I've actually put on there a special payment for Moonstruck listeners. So you can go on there, you can get a heavily discounted reading. So do that. My website is www.insightsbyjohnita.com. So insights, insight by Johnita, Johnita, and have a look in the Moonstruck listeners. So you guys get a special discount with the readings with me. Happy to cover anything at all. There's tarot, channeled. I love talking to spirits, so I will yatter them all day long, and they will yatter me back. So that's definitely the way I would go with the reading, most definitely, unless you need the tarot in particular. Some people like the tangible stuff, but yeah. It's all about that. Insights by Johnita Francis is Facebook page that I have, so please pop on over there, like and follow me so you can keep up to date with everything. YouTube for me as well. I do witch picture reveals, which are always fun. It's so much fun doing it. I don't actually pull the responses out of the book. I channel them straight from spirit, so you can pick this picture or that picture, tell me which one you want, and then we do the channel reading. So it's really cool. Good way to collectively come together. And also, what else is going on? I will be a part of Australia's first ever online psychic expo. That's coming up on the 29th of March. So if you'd like to pop on over and join me in my booth, there's a whole bunch of booths going on with different things from crystals to readings to speakers, all sorts of things. So that's the online expo. It'll be perfect timing because we probably will be in lockdown by that time. And you can come along anyway and get a reading. So they're heavily discounted on that day as well. So if you've ever wanted a reading with me, be prepared because there's some major discounts coming up. All right, guys, thank you very much for tuning in, and I'll see you all again, same time, same bat channel next week.